Vroom. Hee-hee. Welcome back to Made by J&D. I'm still waiting on some things. I'm kind of at a stalemate. I'm waiting on the link to get here so I can try to figure this out finally. And I'm still waiting on wheels, so I haven't got those here. Just little jobby jobs that I need to do. I need to take off little bracketry. All these wires have to come out. They're stapled into here pretty well. So I'm just going to take the wiring out of the cab. It's a mixture of screws and nuts and bolts, and they just, I don't know, I think there's probably been modifications to this. And then, I don't know what they used at the factory. I never intended them to come up. I mean, it can be taken apart, but my goodness. I don't know how to get to some of them. It's got vines growing inside the glove box. Yeah. That could be free. Oh, looks like the glove box just comes out. Oh, come on, come on. Man, who'd have thunk? That was a lot harder than I expected. There weren't very many wires, but they were really big because everything was heavy duty inside this. And there's still a few things that's stuck up in here that I'll get to them later. I just really wanted to clean this area out where the steering column is going to go. And I have to make my bracketry to hold it and support it. But yeah. We were successful. I'll just put the steering column up in here for now. Too bad all my paint's getting scratched up, but oh well. We can always do it again later, I guess. I'm standing here with Cody at G10 Custom Coatings. And what I'm picking up is this nice little thing that he's just coated for me. Tell me about yourself.
All right, well, my name's Cody. Me and my father own this shop. We do Cerakote coatings, and on this piece here, we went ahead and used a Teflon coating to replace the factory coating.
All right. I'm going to give Cody a shout out for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, here's the link I got from Cody. And I need to clean this up because it's got to go back together. Well, I thought that was tapered, but it's straight. So I just have to clean off the Teflon that he put on here. And that should slide in all right. I'm going to take all these bearings out and give them a good clean. There was some caked on grease. I've taken this Teflon coating off from the splines here and done a trial fit. That fits on really nice now. I'll put this cage, this bearing back together. Now, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's asymmetrical. And that is asymmetrical. And this is asymmetrical. So it's all got to go together a certain way. Got to squeeze it in here. And that's backwards, because I can't press it in. This is surfaced, it's kind of like flush here, but that's inset. But when you turn it, now it's inset there and inset there an equal amount. So I'm going to assume that's the way that goes together, because again, I didn't really take too good a note. This piece here, you have to kind of fiddle it around. Okay, put the balls back together. Now, really, I probably should be using grease at this point, but because I'm still experimenting, I might have to take this apart again later and put grease in it, because at the moment, I don't have any boot or any way to protect this, and I don't want dust getting in there and causing a grinding compound. So I'll put in grease later. Right now, I'm still just kind of goofing around. just grabby. Oh, there we go. Okay, that way works better. The balls are now basically centered in this race. So that's the way I'm going to say it's right. I'll need to put something in there because this is just too grabby. I'm afraid I'll damage this if I don't put some lubrication inside. I'll get to that in a minute. This here, though, does go like this. And the nut goes there. These things have seen better days, but I'll use them for the short term. They're locking, supposed to lock these nuts in place, but the tabs are all broken off. I'll see if I can find some replacements or maybe just use Loctite. This used to be a real snug fit, and now it's loose. I don't know what to say about this. Anyways, for now, we'll run with it, see how we go. Okay, so I've been here before, and I don't know why I'm second guessing myself. I think that link is the right length, but still, I've modified it in such a way that I probably shouldn't have. Because the way I have this now, I could have left that other part that I'd cut off of this. I could have left it on there. So anyways, let's see how this goes. That goes to the steering column. This part goes onto the, what's that? There's a flat spot, there it is. That flat spot's go to align with that bolt. I want the angles on both of these bearings to be sharing that overall angle, share it equally between these. And that's about where that's got to go. So it's just a little bit, kind of hard to see, but this bracket here has got to be a little bit proud of that, the dash. However, if I shorten this a little bit, then the result would be this bends, this lower part bends outward a bit, and this angle will get shallower by doing that. So I think I'll try that. Take off maybe, how much? Not much. And one thing I had to keep in mind is this joint moves for a reason. The frame is stable, but the body is going to move around some. And the steering column, well, you know, I don't want all the vibration from the frame getting transmitted directly into the column because this thing is hard up against inside here. So there's got to be some play. Right now, it's got a little bit. That is actually looking pretty good. I might lower it a bit because it's still pretty high, and this is getting pretty close to this. Lower it down a bit. But I can fix this pretty well about this location. And here's a neat thing. This is the original steering column support from the fire truck. Nice cast aluminum, looks nice. I can't use it up here because this part of this column is really big diameter. It's bigger than this is. I couldn't make it fit. However, with just the pieces that are in it, with a big rubber bushing. That fits perfectly right there. And this piece has to come off, and I still have to come up with some way to mount this to the firewall. It's not a firewall, I mean the engine's back there, but the front of the cab. It doesn't interfere with the switch, which is good. And this bolts straight up. It's the right, just a little bit too small, which is great, because it'll compress onto there and have a nice, stable support for the back end of this column. Doesn't interfere with the shifting linkage either. This is still a little bit short. I shouldn't have cut it off as far as I did. I can put another inch on there, have better engagement, you know, more room to move. Now from the GMC Motorhome, couple of Facebook pages, I made contact with a fellow that's got a couple of these extras. I might just buy that one from him. And I probably still will have to cut it off a little bit, but still I can have it about an inch more engagement. It'll be just that much better. So I will probably do that. I didn't have to cut off this here at all because, well, I didn't know. But that's a slot, I'll just have to deal with that. It doesn't matter, it's if it's there. It's a small thing. See, that's hard up against it in there now. If I come out just a little bit, give it a half an inch or so, pull it out a bit. The angle here and the angle here are good. Well, I've unbolted this bracket here because that used to hold the, on the dash was here. And that would hold the steering column on the fire truck. I've taken that off because I think I can reuse this. If I weld a couple of, put a spacer here, maybe about an inch and a bit, and that will bolt onto the bracket that holds the steering column, the original GMC steering column bracketry that was there. This hole is a little bit small for the GMC Motorhome column. So I'm going to hog it out a little bit, just a little bit. And that'll still give, the rubber bushing inside is still good. I might have to actually, just to make sure it's got a good clamp, I'll probably grind a little bit of this off too so I can pull it together a bit tighter. This is just a burr made to use in a drill, but I think I can use it here. Something I didn't realize before. This upper part is steel, galvanized steel. The bottom part is aluminum, so that's cast aluminum here. So they should still mill all right, but the aluminum's obviously going to be a lot faster. I still have to grind off a bit of this, so I have to draw a line around it so I know how much to cut off. I've made a lot of confusing remarks about how long this link can be. Yes, this link could be, this bottom part could be about an inch longer. And I don't know what to do about that, but for now, this is the way it's going to stay. What I do want to mark though is, because I think I've said this before too, but the cab and the frame are not going to move together. There's going to have to be some give here. So I'm going to mark this where it's hard up against the inside, which is, it's got 2 inches of engagement. From the bottom to here is 2 inches. So I am going to mark it so I know where it is when it's bottomed out. And try to strive to get that much base. It's about a half an inch. That gives me 1.5 inches of engagement. Should be good. About 6 inches long, or it's to here, and then I've got to have something bolting on here. On the steering column, will have to be cut back a bit. There's a hole here and a hole here on both sides, but this here would interfere with that. So I'm going to cut that off. Yeah, right, even with the hole here, I'll just cut it off the back of that hole. I mean, I'll take that bracket off and re-drill it. Needs to be extended. I need about a 6-inch long piece. What do I have outside? Scrap pile from both the motorhome and the fire truck. That looks like some channel iron right in there. I think that'll work. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, it's kind of overexposed. But I think I can make that fit. I'll just take that step and cut off a bit of that. But I also need a spacer to go below the dash. What do I have out back for a 1-inch, something's close to 1 inch? I got some big stuff, got some pipe, some rims, 2 3/8 EUE tubing. What do we got here? That's the seat from the back of the motorhome. I reckon that's 1-inch pipe, or 1-inch channel here. I think that's 1 inch. I'll drag that over and cut a bit of that off too. Okay. It's off the seat. Nice bit of 1 inch. And that can go to this plate. Maybe like this. 2 pieces. And here, that'll work. I even made it look nice. Okay, good enough. Right, let's try it into the fire truck then. I'm not sure if I was recording. I had the little display turned backward on the camera. But I bolted this up. And that is the way it's going to stay, I think. I wish the column was a little bit further out. And I can still do that, I think. Actually, why don't I? The thing is, right now, in order to get this to work right, it's binding right here. This is at too steep of an angle, and this isn't hardly at any angle. I can bring it down like this a bit, but it serves the same purpose if I were to move it that way. And the reason that is like this is because I cut the wrong end of this off. I moved it further back than I should have. I can extend these pieces and extend it out a little bit, 1 inch maybe. 1 inch would probably get me there. So I can't put the bottom mount on there yet until I get this part worked out. The alternative is I could cut a 1/2 inch off of this, the bottom part here. But then that makes the steering column more of an angle. I'm trying to keep from doing that. Yeah, have to think about it. Well, I've cut a 3/4 of an inch off of that. And I did that because I thought it was only cutting off 1/2 inch would not give me enough room to do what I need to do. Well, that's working. The steering column is still a pretty steep angle, but I just can't get around it because I just can't shorten it. I'd have to shorten it more in order to get these angles down here. I'd have to have the column even shorter, and I can't. I'm not going to do that again. Now, it's got plenty of engagement. That's looking pretty good up there where it's mounted to the dash. And I was thinking I can't move the column too much further back either, because then it's going to be limiting, how it, in relationship to the seat that's going to be there. Right now the seat will have to be pretty tall. Yeah, it's just compromises deluxe. That's as far down as the steering wheel goes. That's just the way it's going to have to be. It's still hot from the welder, but that's my bracket to hold the bottom mount to the to the front of the cab. I have already marked holes here and here, and I'm just going to drill those. We've got nuts and bolts already. That should be secure. A lot of slop here. Anyways, let's get a seat in here and see how I sit with this steering wheel where it is. Well, I actually have the floorboards into the fire truck, and I've got two different seat heights. Let's see which one works better. As far as floorboards go, I can hit the brakes fine. Lots of headroom, but then if I was a fireman, I'd have a big hat. But as far as looking out the windscreen, it's a good angle. This taller bucket's probably going to be the right one. Let's try the small one though, just in case. Ooh, yeah, that's right down there. I have to put the steering wheel down. And it's going to be a problem to use the brakes. It's too low. It might end up being somewhere between the 5-gallon and whatever this bucket is. The next thing I'm going to work on is brakes. And that promises to be exciting because the master cylinder is going to be underneath the floorboards sideways. Thanks for sticking with me. If you've liked these videos, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. See you next time. Vroom.